Okay, this is Aaron again with Exalted Lamb 1, and I have my latest video out here for you, and it's going to be a little bit different than what I've done before. I'll have some similar things. I'm going to break away, cut away here and there to talk about some gematria, some different things, but this is going to be a little different because it's going to be a story. It's going to go from one person to the next person, kind of pretty much how it happened for me. So a little bit different situation. I like the way this is going. Hopefully you like this. So let's get going here. I'm going to also include in the description box below here this video some links to my previous 4th of July predictions from last year and maybe even the year before. So it's going to really emphasize this time frame, and then the personal confirmations I've gotten for me and for my friends, which are my brothers and sisters. Brothers and sister right now. I mean, I've had some others as well, but what I'm sharing on this video, some brothers and my sister in Christ that are friends of mine, are massively huge in how we kind of interweave and connect together on this, and what the Lord did is huge. And so I have to tell this story. So before I get to that, I want to also just mention, if you're not on Telegram and you want to get notifications of these videos and other things, I'll put things out sometimes and even communicate sometimes with people what my thoughts are, or some updates or things like that, or maybe when I'm going to put a video out soon or something like that you won't get anywhere else. Sign up. There's going to be a link in the description box for that, to sign up for Telegram, and that notifies you through your phone, cell phone only. The whole email thing, I haven't talked about it for a while, but that was an absolute mess for a lot of reasons. I won't get into all that stuff. So if you want to, go ahead. So without further ado, let me get started. So when the 4th and the 5th days didn't happen on my last timeline, I prayed specifically to Jesus this. I will only do a possible time frame again, Lord. And just keep in mind, this is on my knees whimpering. If you give me multiple personal and undeniable confirmations. Again, I've said this many times, but I've never wanted to do this. Never. And I've just jumped aboard because he's aboard, because this is what he wants. And he's, in the beginning, he kind of dragged me kicking and screaming. But I've always, been delighted to do my Lord's will and what he wants. And this is just what he wants me to do. So, but I just said, Lord, I am not interested in doing anything else. Whatever the final time is, I'll wait until then, or you give me these confirmations that are undeniable. And so I just left it open because I was looking at some possibilities for next several months, all the way to the end of the year, because I'm almost completely positive it's this year, for a number of codes, a number of things and he's already confirmed that for me, really, without getting to everything right now. And I've shared some things, but I really pretty much said, unless I get multiple personal and undeniable confirmations, I'm not going to go into another timeline. Just not going to. And we have that kind of relationship where he understands when I kind of put my foot down a little bit. I mean, it's put down softly in a way, because he understands my heart and everything. And I've been willing for a while to do whatever and just be led to do what I feel he's showing me, or the next time frame or whatever. And, believing that it could be it. But this time, I needed more. I needed a lot more, and to be confident to do this once again. But I wanted to be completely wowed by him, and then also to wow you. So as far as it being the absolutely more than possible, really, in a sense. So I'm going to say it that way. But it is still a guess. It's still everything else, because you just must know. I don't know the future, but you could take this how you want. But I'm going to just tell you how this happened, okay? All right, so he did. He did. He absolutely did. He gave me multiple personal and undeniable confirmations, so I had to do this, okay? And that started, like I said, just after the 4th and 5th days of my last timeline did not really happen, and that's when I pretty much know the whole thing is not going to happen like I've been shown. But he did confirm for me in the last couple months that the 14-day thing is absolutely solid, and I've gotten over 100 confirmations of the different days, symbolically, especially February, March, and May, massive confirmations of many of these days, most of these days. So it's pretty much inevitable that it will be the 14-day process. It's just, when is that? When is that? And I always say that, and I will always say, when is that? Because I don't know. Okay, so let me start with my daughter's dream. Now, my daughter was given this on the night of 5/29/30 or 5/30. That was my birthday, 5/29. And the Lord told me it was significant. And in my next video, I'm probably going to tell you why what I think now that my birthday, 5/29, is significant. It's going to be in the next video probably. So I'm not getting to that right now because I want to cover certain subject matter. But since that day or that night, which is on that timeline, which included 5/29 and 5/30, were the tsunami days / the children, innocent children being taken by Jesus to heaven, every innocent child in the world. And I've talked about the age. It could be somewhere between 17, 18. That's what the age of accountability. It could be a little younger. I'm not getting into that right now. I've speculated about that, and I don't know for sure. There may be some clues in my daughter's dream, but I don't think it's completely covers it. So, but I'm going to talk about that. So the timing on this, and when I knew this timeline wasn't really happening, the timing on this night, her getting this dream, was phenomenal. And so for the last several weeks, I've been trying to figure out with him, praying and such like that, and asking a couple of people that are my friends, that are very prophetic, what they think about it and things like that. But for the most part, I knew it was my interpretation was going to be the thing, and he made that very clear to me, that it was kind of geared towards me and my daughter. So that's very important. So, and it ended up being that particular night of the tsunamis and the innocent being taken, and even where Stinky B.O., the 44th Prez, the Antichrist, is going to be struck by lightning. The enemy is going to be kicked out of heaven. Satan be kicked out of heaven and kicked out through the silver gate, and he will fall like lightning and strike the dead body of Stinky B.O., the 44th Prez, Nobama, and he's going to come back to life. But he's going to be put on the stage at the very last day, going into the 15th day, the 14th going to the 15th day. He's going to be put on stage for everyone to see as the savior of the world, or this guy who comes from nowhere, and he's brought back to life, which will be the huge miracle that, anyway, it's similar, the false Jesus, basically. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So here we go. So here's my daughter's dream. I'm going to read this from what she said. Okay, so it started in my room with me doing something on my desk. I realized it started to get dark outside. I got up and tried turning a light switch on, but it wouldn't turn on. And I didn't understand why it wouldn't turn on. So I walked out of my room and down the stairs into the kitchen, where I saw my parents walking around saying the power went out. We all walked outside to see what might have happened. This is kind of similar to I have a little house, and it's on some land with some trees and such, and this is kind of what it'd be like if the power went out a little bit extra light there, but so you can actually see the silhouette of the house. We all walked outside to see what might have happened to the power. Being that it was night, we couldn't see much, of course, especially with the power out. Then suddenly I started to see stars coming up on the horizon. Now, I'm not going to show that because I can't, how she described it. I'm going to describe how she described it in a sense here, but I couldn't find imagery to even come close to that. So she described it as, where's that again? She started to see stars coming up on the horizon, and she saw actual stars, maybe in a star shape, and then some were coming up, they're shooting up from the horizon, and then some were elongated stars, and some were like normal sized stars. And I just, I could have maybe put it together, but it'd take too long, so I didn't do that. Then suddenly I started to see stars come up on the horizon. As we witnessed this happening, I heard my dad cry out, "This lines up with my timeline." Again, this is another confirmation that my timeline is correct. And I had another dream, which I'm not going to get into right now, but where the Lord confirmed that my 14-day timeline that he basically showed me, it's all his 14-day timeline, but that it was correct, okay? That whatever the 14 days are, they're coming. And after those stars had risen, what looked like red moons began rising up. And I'm not going to show it rising up, just that they're in the sky right here, okay? And there were 4 rows of 6, and all were equally distant from each other. They began to fade out, and so I'm not going to fade it out. I mean, I could do it in video, and that just be more challenging, so I'm just making it super simple here. Began to fade out, okay? And there were 4 rows of 6, or 24. So 6, 666. Okay, you got the point. Okay, and they began to fade out. And then I could see a crescent moon shape that began to appear, but like it was drawn. It just kind of eventually like was drawn out. Okay, I didn't even realize that was that black. Okay, most places I'm doing this, it's somewhat lit up, so it's hard to tell the difference in black sometimes. So whatever, you get the point. Okay, this is kind of thrown together somewhat. So I could see a crescent shape that began to appear like it was being drawn out, kind of similar to what I showed, okay, as best you could describe, starting from the top and finishing to the bottom, which I just did. Then the crescent seemed to open up in a smooth motion, become a white sparkling portal. Okay, the sparkling became like white sparks coming off it, while slowly spiraling and glowing white like a sparkler. Okay, and then I wanted to point out, okay, so this was actually filled with white. This is the best I could find here, but when she said it, I immediately thought of this. So that has something to do with my interpretation, because what the Lord does with me while I'm listening to what she says, thinking about things, puzzling things, being the solver that I am and all that kind of stuff, and working with the Lord and hearing His voice. This is what I thought about, even though she saw it with all white, solid white spiral in here. So it wasn't black at all that she said, okay? So I want to differentiate that. So, but what I see and what I interpret and what the Lord shows me means something also, and then what she sees and all that stuff is all means stuff together. And the reason why I'm saying this and why I saw it this way, I think what he was cluing me in on was this. This isn't a depiction of, like, from, if you ever seen the Marvel movie Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange basically, in the beginning, he learns how to open these portals, and then he becomes a master at it. And then in the Avengers, he's opened tons of portals at the end scene, and then there's a huge fight like Armageddon. It's just crazy. It's all out of the Bible. Even flying horses and everything. It's crazy. It's just all taken from the Bible. And these superheroes are going to be the 144,000 that are going to come back, really. But anyway, I digress. So this portal is, it's a portal opening, which you're going to go from one place to another, and that's when, we're going to be transformed to 144, and then also when the children are be taken, the innocent children will be taken to heaven and all that. That's at that first point. And then there'll be another one that opens up on the 14th day, and that's when the bride leaves, the faithful in Christ leave. And then so I think that the imagery was to show that, for example, like this is the enemy depicting this, but it's a portal, it's a ring like this, and it's sparkling like this or whatever. But also it is a what? It is a annular eclipse. Hopefully you see that, understand that. So it's hinting that it's around the annular eclipse, or it's just after the annular eclipse. Okay, and that's what I'm getting on this. So that's what I think is being depicted here, ultimately to me. And then she saw it like a portal spinning and sparkling. But the sparklering also is 4th of July. Okay, is because you do sparklers, and you maybe when you're a kid, I remember when I was a kid almost doing this exact thing, going like this with a sparkler like that, and that's what hits my heart when my daughter was saying that. 4th of July hits it completely. Okay, and there's more to this than just that. So that was the first clue. Okay, you got that idea. Okay, and then she says that the sparkling also she says, I immediately started to feel the vibration feeling, the same feeling I felt in my previous rapture dreams. Then I began to fly into the spiral with the white spiral. Again, it was a white spiral, not necessarily the black, with my family. And then cutscene she puts down here. We landed into a beautiful grassy area. It wasn't like normal grass. It was more vibrant, green, and heavenly looking. I began to look around in front of me, and it was a white brick path. I couldn't find a white brick path. Okay. With white buildings on either side. Everything seemed so very bright and warm-hearted with soft glowing edges. On my left, as we were walking on the path, I could see a heavenly lake below me and people coming out of their houses along the path. I just didn't bother doing all this because there was just a lot to put together. But you get the idea. But I want to put some imagery. I could see a heavenly lake. Oh, I already read that. I'm going back and forth here, looking down and looking back up. I didn't know who. Okay, people walking out of the houses, the white houses, along the path in front of me. I didn't know who they were, but I knew they loved God, and I noticed my mom and dad talking to them. I then started to realize that my twin toddler brothers were not with us when we were raptured. I became concerned until I heard my dad say, they were taken up before us. We continued walking, and finally we saw my twin brothers Then they're about 2 years old, a little over 2 years old. Even though we knew, that's me saying that, even though we knew they were here, we were very relieved and began hugging them with great joy. End of dream. So, it's just a great dream. And my daughter has amazing dreams. This is probably her ninth or something revelation dream since she was 5 years old. And I've gone into a few of those. But it's phenomenal, definitely from the Lord, and she is very inspired, so it's awesome. Okay, moving on. So I want to basically talk about some of these things. So when she said the power went out, this is a type of dream where it shows the end first, in a sense, and then it goes back to it, in a sense as well. So I forget, I don't even know what you call that, but I understand what that is. And I knew when the power goes out, there's been many accounts of that, hundreds I've seen and read and heard about and things. And I even seen an example of a vision I had where the power went out when the bride went up, and then a lot of people have said in dreams and stuff that nukes went off when the bride goes up and things, and then the power goes out, which is understandable. So then when power goes out is the last day. So that's my 14th day, just to kind of put it together a little bit. And then when the toddlers are there, they'd left earlier. Like I said, that's on the 11th/12th day. And when I said my birthday was May 29th or 30th, and that was the 11th and 12th day of that timeline, that's when the innocents are taken. And so my toddlers are basically on the 11th day. They represent not only, the 11 represents many things. It also represents twins, as you can see here. Twins, 1 and 1, twins, 11. Okay. And then also my twins were born on 5/10. And what's 5/10 also? 5 months and 10 days into the year is what? 6/10. And so they represent that as well. They represent this time frame of 6/10. Also, they also represent the first day, which is 5/1, the 5th month, the first day, which is July 1st. And I'm going to talk to you about July 1st through July 14th/15th. Okay. And without putting my timeline up again, I haven't done that. I haven't finished some things I want to change on it and what I want to do for the next video. So that's going to be in the next video. I don't know. I'm not sure if it'll be a part 2 or not, but so they represent a few things. They represent the 11th day as far as the children leaving, and also the twins. And by the way, this starts in 6/10, starts in the twins. That's why iPad Goat 2 has, you see when she drops the apple, the annual eclipse is actually lit up. This is the annual eclipse with this thing down here, and it's lit up, and that's June. And then this is the buck moon, or the buck rabbit or the buck moon of July, the month of July. And this is July right here, which is touching this. So this is June when it begins, and then going into July when this finishes. I'm saying, okay, at this point. And then so that is 6/10 is in the time of the twins. Again, this is the world's version of astrology or whatever, and that's Gemini, the twins. In fact, it's iPad Go with Roman numeral 2 has to do with Gemini, and then it's the spiral, which is Cancer, which 7/1 is in Cancer, and that represents the 6 and the 9, or the 69, and the spiral. If you can tell that, understand that, then just imagine them spiraling around each other. That's what a 69 is. It's a spiral. Plus 6 plus 9 is 15. 15 is 5/1 backwards, which is the 5th month, the first day. Or 15 is also 5 plus 5 plus 5, which is day 5, month 5, and year 5, which is coming up here in several of these days. And I thought it might have been May, but it looks like, I've been suspecting that it was probably ultimately July, because July is the 5th month to the least, like I've said thousands of times. Okay. So then I wanted to show you this as well. This is a spiral that just happened back on 6/18 to prove my point of the 69 and the spiral. Okay, literally, this just happened over the Pacific Ocean. Actually, it was over the Southern Pacific. Over certain islands like Fiji and other islands I don't remember off the top of my head. But if you notice, this is 6. 1 plus 8 is 9. See, that's the 69, or the 69 spiral, like I showed you over here. The 69 is a spiral. Just imagine these guys spiraling around each other. That is a spiral. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. That's 69. That's hidden. That's why they did it that day, 69, because it's telling you that the spiral, or the portal, is opening. Remember the spiral that my daughter saw in a dream that we went through? That's opening up for the righteous, and then it's opening up for the devil to kick his butt out of heaven, because he's going to be kicked down to earth. He's going to kick to the curb, right down on earth, and then he won't be able to be the prince of the power of the air anymore, and he won't have access to heaven to be the accuser anymore, the brethren, like the Bible says. Okay. And so, and it just is it a coincidence that it's also 618, June 18th is the 169th day of the year? Again, spiral, is that a coincidence? Or that there's 196 days left, which is 69 backwards, or one time. By the way, again, one, I've said this many times, 1 times 69, a lot of reasons why 1 is there is because 1 times 69 is 69, or 1 times 96 is 96, and backwards that would be 69, and forwards that would be 69. Is that a coincidence that we have two 69s here on this day, and then 6, and 1 plus 8 is 69, and it was a spiral that happened on that day? I don't think so. Hello, McFly. Hello, McFly. Okay, anyway, so 6 plus 9 is 15, like I said, which also represents the 5th month, the first day, and so 15 is also 5 plus 5 plus 5, which is 555, and I've shared that many times, because July is the 5th month to the elites, and then there's a few different days that are represented by the 5th month, which all, the 5th day, which a few different days that represent that, including the last day, the attack on the 5th of July, that kind of stuff. There's different, even 5/11, the 11th and 12th day. The 11th day is represented by 5 times 11, or the 5th month, and the 11th day is 5 times 11, which is 55, things like that. So, going back to her dream. Now, she said, originally she said it was a crescent moon shape, and that it was on the left side. Okay, so this means a few things to me, and as I thought about it, and I prayed as well. And then she said it was, I'll say it this way, okay, and I'm analyzing this now. So she said it was a crescent moon shape like this, but there's more to it. I'm going to tell you in a second here. She said it was definitely on the left side though. So that tells me it is a moon shape because it's on the left side. It's definitely on the left side. There was a reason for that. And then I went through all the rest of the months in the year, and I looked at the different days that had that on the left side with about that same thickness. And only one that made sense at all at that time, and I just put it in my back pocket, it was on my phone, was July 4th, okay? And again, this was before I thought, or this is a little after the sparkler thing, and I thought of July 4th. So I'm like, hey, July 4th, sparklers in a circle, July 4th, okay, there's something there. That was kind of in my back pocket as well. Okay, the next thing is, it wasn't really this kind of crescent. It was this kind of crescent. And I made it sure she explained it very well. It was more like a C, but then it was on the left side, and kind of like it was a moon. And she thought it was drawn like a moon, but she didn't say it looked like a moon necessarily. It didn't have this moon texture or whatever. So it gives me the impression that it's kind of both, okay? And that's a number of reasons for that without trying to explain every single thing. Another thing is, we don't see a crescent moon like this. Okay, in fact, even in the in the symbol for Islam, there is a moon that's shaped like this, but there's no such thing as a crescent moon that we can see like this, or the man in the moon. It is literally an eclipse. It is a smaller object inside of a bigger object, in front of a bigger object, and that makes it where it looks like a C. The farthest this ends of these points will go is halfway, or 50% of a circle or a globe. Okay. So the only explanation for this is something eclipsed by something else. This is being eclipsed by this lighter object being eclipsed by this darker object. Okay. And that's it. That's the way it works. So it told me it was an eclipse, because a moon doesn't look like that. You never see a moon that's like this. I mean, of course they exaggerate them in artwork and all kinds of stuff. But what I'm saying is, even the symbol for Islam is an eclipse, and there's a star right after, which is in a lot of different things. Okay, even in iPad Goat it shows that, because it shows a star or a body moving towards the eclipse, the annual eclipse, in the Heliofont logo, and I've shared that in other videos and other things. So that is the same representation in the symbol for Islam as well. So that's really crazy, because I think it has to do with what's going on right now, and I'm going to show you. Okay, so, and the other thing that came to mind is, I think it's both, so there must be something to do with both. Okay, now again, if you look at an annular eclipse from any other position than right underneath it, which is not very many people get to see the full annular eclipse. Most people aren't in the path of totality where they see the full annular eclipse. Most people see somewhere from this version to even like that much. They see most of the sun, and then they see maybe a little bit of a cutout. But you're gonna, a lot of people are gonna see some form of these two things, some kind of full crescent looks like a C, or maybe even might see some of a half of a C looking thing, or something like this. But this just shows you that I think it's from this to this, and there's something going on because it's the left side. I mean, annual eclipse doesn't have to have a left, right, top, or bottom. It just varies. All the 360 degrees around the annual eclipse on the ground it varies. It goes all the way around it, however you see it, if that makes sense, without trying to completely explain that. So hopefully that makes sense to you. But and then it's also depicted in iPad Goat, this exact same thing. This is not a moon. This is an eclipse. And then it's also red, so you think it might be a moon, but I think it's both because it has to do with maybe even a blood moon, and then it might be juxtaposing with a blood moon, a real moon, and an eclipse. It might be all three. Again, the symbolism for all this stuff is multi-layered. It's never exactly what you think it looks like. It's almost never that way. This is not really Osama bin Laden. This is not really, I mean, just so many different things. There's the reasons that this looks like Osama bin Laden. There's a symbol in his beard, and then he has a CIA badge on, and there's so many things going on in these scenes that you have to look at it at much more depth and understanding these symbols on top of symbols on top of symbols. So sometimes they're multi-layered and have multiple meanings. So that's what I'm deducing this as meaning. And then when you turn this backwards, look how it matches the eclipse or the annual eclipse. The C look shape of even this. This is exactly what this is. It's just tilted a little bit, but this is exactly what this is. And this is what my daughter saw. She literally saw that, but she said it was on the left side specifically, and then she had the impression that it was drawn like a moon, whatever that means. Okay, but that's the idea. So this is what I'm coming to on this. So the key in how many moons there were is a key, okay? And what I thought about was, okay, 6 rows of 4 and a total of 24. I think it could be 24 days. Well, let me ferret this out a little bit and see what happens and see if I start hitting some similarities or some things that start making sense. Okay, so what I did was I thought about immediately when I think of these moons in a row and in a pattern, I think of these these blood moons, like the tetrad blood moons and things. Now what's separating these are days, just days, not, I mean, technically months, but they broke down into days. And I immediately thought of days also. And I really listened to what the Lord's saying and give me impressions and everything as well. Another thing I want to mention about this is this particular annular eclipse. The midpoint of this annual eclipse is January 5th, 2015. It's right around here, right, whatever. They show this kind of at the midpoint of this annual eclipse, which is also significant because it's a similar thing that happened here in June 10th. Then that's very similar. But right in the center of this, both these moons, exactly in the center, is January 5th, 2015, to what I'm saying could be the July 11th, the actual first opening of the when the children leave and the tsunamis happen, all that, the first opening of the gates in heaven. Okay, and then so from that day, I just want to make this clear, from this day to July 11th, which is in this timeline now, and it's the 11th day of this timeline I'm saying, from July 1st to July 14/15th, is exactly 6 years, 6 months, and 6 days. And so it would make sense that it could be, and that would be the exact same day, the 11th day, that Stinky B.O., the 44th Prez, who dies on the 7th day, and then he's struck by lightning on the 11th day to be revealed on the 14/15th day. Okay, so that's 6 years, 6 months, and 6 days. It just happens to be, I just had to interject that in there. Okay, so what I did was I took this annual eclipse, which I think that this is partially what she saw, because these are different ideas put together or juxtaposed to each other. Okay, so 610, okay, plus 24 days or 24 moons in a sense, because that was my impression. It wasn't like saying 24 blood moons later, 24 blood moons earlier, or even 24 months earlier or later. I also had the impression by him showing this to her, giving her this dream, that we were very close. We were very close, and I felt that in many ways in the last couple of dreams I've had as well, and other things, and things that friends have said, and things that I'm experiencing. There's a lot goes into all this, a lot of thought, a lot of prayer, a lot of contemplation and things that go into this. So 610, June 10th, with this annual eclipse last happened, which I believe is also shown in iPad Goat, plus 24 moons of 24 days, And again, I'm saying these days represent moons or nights. Like there's a form of a moon at night every single night, somewhere, somehow. So, and it just happens to show full moons. It wouldn't necessarily show every single phase. But so I would say 24 nights is what I'm saying. It ends up being July 4th. I mean, come on. I mean, already thought of the sparkler thing. Already thought of that crescent moon that it wasn't. I thought if it was a crescent moon that's on the left side, then the best chance, and this was about a week before I put this together, that July 4th would be the best possible crescent moon to match a left side crescent moon about this thickness. And then you take this, which is what this also looks like, because it was a C shape, more of a C shape than this, and you add 24 of those moons and you get July 4th. Are you kidding me? So I'm on a roll here in a little bit. I'm like, okay, Lord, what are you trying to say here? Now I'm not completely convinced yet or anything like that, but I'm just begun. I've just begun. Okay, so this is important. Okay, this is how I work. Now I feel led to talk to my friend, and Lord brings to my mind. Sorry, I'm playing with a pen, and maybe the sound is distracting. Sorry. While I'm talking, I just tend to do that for my nervous habits or whatever while I'm talking, because sometimes I have to do something, but a lot of times I just stay still. But sometimes I'm fiddling or something because I'm talking a lot. Okay, so I end up talking to my friend. I felt led to talk to my friend Aaron, believe it or not, Aaron, at Redeem 44. YouTube channel, and he had a dream about 4 years ago, a little over 4 years ago, about a couple months now. And I wasn't sure how old it was, and I just said, hey, would you get that to me, because I know he talked about it, and I had actually seen it a while back, a couple years ago, and he replayed it or something, or he talked about it several times or something. I'm like, this has to do with that. I know you said it was about the 4th of July time frame, and the Lord just really has this on my mind about this and about you as well. And he's like, okay, great. He goes, well, I'm going to send this to you. And then so I cut a clip of this actual video out of this video he made about he had some other stuff afterwards and everything. So Aaron at Redeem 44, this is April 27th, 2017, 4 years and a couple months ago. This is what he said. Oh.
Hey, God bless. Have some things to...
Oh, hold on, what did I do? Oh, I didn't realize that did that. Oh, if I hit my buttons, okay, let's try this again.
Hey, God bless. Have some things to share with you. Had a dream last night. I was in New York.
I'm sorry, I had to play this again. I had some technical difficulties. Here, let's try it again. Up the volume too.
Hey, God bless. Have some things to share with you. Had a dream last night. I was in New York. I was at an apartment building on the water. I knew that soon the apartment building would be underwater. I took part in an event outside of the apartment building. And it seemed like a celebration of America, like almost like a 4th of July kind of event. And there were military planes, like jets, flying over. My family was there and a couple other people. The 2 of the jets blew up in the air. And when one of them blew up, it kind of split apart, and a man ejected from the jet and went up into the air and then came down into the water. And he went underwater, and I could see him clearly. And his clothes were, he was shining like light. And his uniform was yellow, green, blue, and white. And it was like a beautiful color. And he came up to the surface swimming. And then I saw a car drive up underwater. And it was the exact same colors. It was blue, green, yellow, and white. And it was a new underwater car, I guess. Because I heard someone say that the car would last for 7 minutes underwater. before it needed to charge the battery or something like that. But 7 minutes. I found that to be a probably prophetic. Number 7 is a very prophetic number. And then I was telling, my dad was there, and I was telling him something about, I don't know, about what was coming, or something about war coming maybe. And he said, that's why you always keep a Bible and a gun between your seat and rely on God's promises. And I said, God promised me that I'll be in heaven. And then there was someone there that I knew. I don't know who it was in real life, but I knew them in the dream. And I said, this is the last time I'll see you before heaven. And they held up their watch. And they held up 2 fingers, like the number 2. And then they pointed to, on the watch, the number 4. And then the number 5. And then again the number 4. And then the number 5. They did that twice. So they held up 2 fingers. And then twice they pointed to the 4 and then the 5 twice. I think that was about the end of the dream.
Okay, great. Well, I wanted to make some points about that as well. So I'm going to get into, so I ended up calling him. So he sent this to me, and I looked over it, and then I ended up calling him back. And then we were talking about this a little bit. Before I talk about that, I'm going to talk about this. Now, I looked at this, and I immediately saw on the dates. I was like really surprised, because I don't think he even knows this. Aaron, when you watch this, you're going to be blown away by this. You didn't know this either. So the day of the year that you did this was April 27th, okay? And that is the 117th day of the year. Now, that's incredible, because what I just said on my timeline, or from that middle of those blood moons, the tetrad blood moons, to the 11th of July, in this time frame, was 6 years, 6 months, and 6 days. And you literally got this. I'm going to suppose that you probably had your dream sometime in the morning of April 27th, because you said you had it last night at that moment, or that time you're saying this on this video. So it's more likely that you had it right on this exact day of the 117th day of the year. And then even more than that, the full date is, if broken down here, April. And then 2 is really 1 and 1, 7. Again, that's 117, 2. And then 2017 is 2017. So you could say it this way. This is really crazy. So you could say this. You could say the 4th through the 11th of July and the 12th of July. Or this is backwards, 12th of July. This is crazy. Literally, we have both tsunami days. We have 7/11 and 7, say this backwards, 7/12 and 7/11. And then this is the 4th, 7/4. I don't know if hopefully you see what I'm saying. It's just phenomenal that it was on the 117th day of the year back in 2017, and the full date is massively significant, because this is when the innocent leave, and then that the 4th day is the first attack day, and this is like literally what it's showing. So here we're talking, okay, after he sends me the video, and then I'm like, there's something going on here, and I was sharing with things about my days and things that are coming up with the Lord's confirming with this 4th of July thing and everything, possibly, and with your dream, and I'm trying to get to the understanding. And so we were talking about this here, and then when this guy, and he didn't say it in this video here, but he might have said it later, but he said the guy that put up his 2 fingers and pointed to his watch, his name was Stuart. Okay, Stuart is another way of saying steward. It's a version of steward. So someone who is a steward would naturally be called Stuart, because they're a steward. Anyway, but someone who basically is a protector, or someone who takes care of something, they're the steward in a sense. Okay, so this person's saying, hey, this is done, and anyway, so he puts up his 2 fingers, and so for at least a couple of years, I've been thinking about this since I've been doing my YouTube channel and knew about this dream a couple of years ago, and I started to get to know him almost 2 years ago. right about 2 years ago, maybe a little more, and his YouTube channel and such. And so I've been trying to help him figure this out. So here we're talking again, and I'm talking about this, and I said, I know what this means in that this is not a two. I mean, not just a two, or it could be a two, but it's also an 11. Okay, so that's the 11th, because you talked in the very beginning about New York being underwater, and that is going to happen on the 11th/12th day. But the biggest symbol for that is the 11th day. That's the biggest symbol, even more than 12th day over everything. You know, if you think about 9/11 or 7/11 or 5/11, I mean, that's more of a symbol than even 9/12, 7/12. 5/12, whatever the numbers, 3/12, so 3/11, 5/11, 7/11, 9/11, they all have to do with this 11th day. And they love the 11 because it's the twins, because the both towers went down, you know what I'm saying? A little code here on the 11th of the month of the September, anyway, and all that stuff back in the 2001. Okay, so that is 11, and then he points to the 4 and 5, so that's the 4th and the 5th. And then he says, so first he says he's in New York, and then he got the feeling that it's going to be underwater and everything and all that. And then he says, and it was a celebration of 4th of July, he thought. Okay, a celebration of America, and he thought it was 4th of July. And that, what I've been saying, is the 4th and the 5th. So in late, maybe somewhere around midnight, so it depends on what time zone you're in the United States. It could be the 4th or the 5th. And so I say, hey, I think this is 11th day, and then the 4th and the 5th. And then I said, but we're kind of figuring out there's something more going on here. And then he said to me, as we're kind of, I think there's a synergy going on when we're talking and such. He said to me, what birthday is this of the nation, or what is it? And I'm like, what anniversary is this of the United States on the 4th of July? And I'm like, oh my gosh! And I just said it real loud. I'm like, I can't believe this. I could not believe what he said, and then I saw it. He didn't even know what it was, and I knew it because I've been tracking every single year. I know exactly what it's been each year and everything. And then I just knew what it meant. I'm like, this is solved, and I told him it's the 245th anniversary or birthday of the United States, this 4th of July. And I could not believe it. We're both floored. And then so what he did was, this is what he literally said on this. He said that he put up 2 and then pointed to the 4 and the 5 and then the 4 and the 5 again. So it's the 245th anniversary of the United States, or 245th birthday of the United States on the 4th and the 5th. 24545. Wow, that is the solve, and I knew that was the solve. I mean, my goodness, what are the chances of that? And then to even add to it, this guy was named, or the guy that you talked to was named Stewart, but that put up his fingers like this with a watch. But it means steward, and that is the 4th of the 5th month. Again, July, like I said, is the 5th month. So it's both a reverse full reduction and reverse single reduction. So it's the simple gematria backwards, and then the reduced or full reduction or single reduction is 45, or 4th of the 5th month, which is still 4th of July, because July is the 5th month. And then Stewart, the version, a derivation of steward, is in both as well, 47 and 47, or the 4th of July. What are the chance of that? Again, God knew this. He knew what this was going to be ahead of time. He put this in his dream and everything to tell these stories, and he knew that I was going to work with him and figure this out. And this is crazy. It's just another massive confirmation of this 4th of July thing. It's phenomenal. Hopefully you understand this. Hopefully I explained it well. I'm doing this kind of late at night, so I'm not 100%. Okay, so then the next day I couldn't wait to call MA, because actually MA is a friend of Aaron. I mean, he's known her. They're both very prophetic, crazy prophetic people. And she became a new friend of mine in May. And it was phenomenal. And she immediately had things to say to me that were right off the charts from the Lord. And I could not believe it. My jaw was dropping on the floor when she was sharing some of this stuff that the Lord told me about myself many times, and that she knew, and she never met me ever. But she's watched my videos for like 3 years, but she didn't know any intimate things about me that nobody really knows, except for maybe my wife and of course the Lord. So, and she said some things that were phenomenal. I could not believe it. Anyway, so I called her after I talked to Aaron, and we just blew this thing out of the water with the Lord working with us, and synergistically, it was just crazy. What a moment. And then so we prayed together, and we'll see what we come up with. So we have this thing now. When we first met each other, we start praying together, and then we'll see what the Lord shows, or what He shows us. What He says, what He shows us in our in our minds, and all that kind of stuff. So we pray together, and specifically for 4th of July confirmation, specifically. So I was saying to him, with Aaron, with even before my daughter's dream, like, I want specifics about this. So now we're on the 4th of July with some of these occurrences with Aaron, with my daughter's dream, with Aaron. So now I'm on the 4th of July. Now I'm saying specifically, praying with MA, hey, I need confirmations of the 4th of July. I need massive confirmations of the 4th of July that you just gave me. So, and I need some more, and we're going to pray about that and see what you give. And hey, listen, you freely ask, He freely gives. I mean, it is crazy. Knocking, the door shall be open to you. Seeking, you shall find. All that stuff. It's phenomenal how this stuff works. And I know what I'm doing for Him. I'm doing work for Him, and I'm doing this for you as well. All of you, all my brothers and sisters, and even people that don't maybe believe, and hopefully someday you will. And when these events start happening, I hope you start believing and wake up, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I just don't know exactly when, and I do my best to try and figure it out. So, and with these here, I cannot believe this. So we're specifically praying about 4th of July confirmation. So this is what she got right away. She said she saw 922. And as she said that, I said, I see 722 very clearly. So she got 922, and I'm like, okay, they're basically the same thing. I've shared many times how they are. Not going to get into all that right now too much. She saw a fighter jet go over my brother Jeff's house. I always say brother because I don't want to say, hey, brother. I like to say, brother, what's my brother? Hey, you're my brother. So my brother Jeff's house, which is my brother in Christ's house, and my best friend Jeff. He saw a fighter jet go. She saw she saw seashells by the seashore. Okay, she saw a fighter jet go over my brother Jeff's house. I'm like, okay, but then I said, when she said that, I literally saw a fighter plane. I didn't see it go over his house. She saw it go over his house. But when she said that, I immediately had a picture of a World War II fighter plane. I'm like, okay, Lord, what are you doing here? What's going on? She's getting this, I'm getting this. But it's so cool how He does this stuff. I mean, it's wow. Or like when you see an image and it's several things, or it's different things, different people, because there's different messages going on. It's just wait. Here we go. Just hang on for this. This is crazy. Then she said, Jeff is the key to understanding. This is what she's saying. She's hearing from the Lord. And I'm like, okay, and I feel like that's right. And then she says, just out of the blue, July 1st is the end of the 40-day warning. And then she said, so that means if you count 40 days back, then what is the first day, or what's the beginning of the 40 days? And I did it real quick. I counted in my head real quickly. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 522. And why is 522 so important to me? Well, it's a big number. Literally, I have it on something very huge financially that I've had for so long. I'm not going to get into all this. 522 has been a big number, and I knew it had to do with, it was close to it's a week away from my birthday, and even just as important is my wedding anniversary, as far as, because it's been around a long time. My wedding anniversary is more important overall, but this thing's been with me a long time. Even longer. And then my wedding anniversary is on 522, and I knew it had something to do with an anniversary, and that was important. What ends up being 522 is also the anniversary. Look at the very bottom, the anniversary of the U.S. Why is 522? Because it's the 5th month and the 4th day, or July 4th, because 2 plus 2 is 4. And so it's a code in a sense, but it also means May 22nd, because it means several things. A lot of these numbers mean several things. The first day is very similar to other days. The first attack day is similar to the last day. I mean, all kinds of different things. They use these numbers in so many different ways. And the Lord's just speaking through a lot of the ways that they communicate to me, so I understand it, and the way He's had to train me, and how they do things, and how they hide things, and how they, pull wool over people's eyes, and how they, their things are hidden in plain sight. And He helps me decode this stuff, okay? So here we go. Remember, she saw 922 and I saw 722, and 40 days earlier than 71 was 522. And by the way, I've shared these are all the same thing. They're just different codes for the same thing. For example, again, 5th month, 4th day, because 2 plus 2 is 4, and then that same as July 4th, 2 plus 2 is 4. In fact, in my next video, I'm going to talk about this pattern of 11th day and the 4th day, 11th day, 4th day, and it fits with Lincoln, the President Lincoln, with Kennedy's death, Lincoln's death, Kennedy's death, and then I'm going to talk about how it fits these other patterns that I'm talking about here. But I'm going to get into that on my next video. It's really crazy. In fact, Lincoln died he was shot on the 14th of April, 1865, and then he died the next day at 7:22 a.m. Are you kidding me? And then President Reagan was shot at 2:27 p.m. I mean, are you kidding me? These are all, and it has to do with death and a president, which has to do with Stinky BO, his death and his resurrection. Because guess what? Lincoln died just like Trumple is a version of him and is going to die. But Reagan was shot and then survived. So it's just like Stinky BO was shot or killed and then he come back to life. So it's death and resurrection in a sense. That's kind of a symbol of that. Reagan is. And that's why maybe some people say, and even Jeff Byerly says, that the Reagan aircraft carrier will get destroyed, or maybe partially destroyed or something. I don't know. But definitely the Lincoln will see. I know I had a vision of that. I was actually in the Lincoln when it was attacked, and everybody died. Everybody died, and so that'll be the old Lincoln or old Lion King Trumple will be gone and won't come back to life. And then and I've been saying that the aircraft carrier, the Truman, the True Man, will be attacked, but then it will a certain amount of people will survive, and so in a sense come back to life. So anyway, back to this. So remember, she saw it 9272, and it was 522, and then what's that? So we have this annular eclipse. Well, earlier, before the annual eclipse, that was on, of course, June 10th. Earlier, it was 522, 40 days from July 1st. And then 40 days later, she said again, was July 1st. Okay, so right in the middle of those 2 dates, exactly in the middle, is the annular eclipse of June 10th. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. So how does she know that? I mean, she doesn't know these. I mean, she knows some numbers, but she doesn't know the numbers like I do. And I immediately put 2 and 2 together, and boom, that was what 2 and 2 equals 4, like is in July 4th. Anyway, that'll be my new saying. 2 and 2 equals 4 is in July 4th. So that's right in the middle. And then that also represents the sign of Jonah. Why am I saying that? Because it's a 40-day warning like Jonah gave Nineveh, basically. But then part of the sign of Jonah was what Jesus said about him dying and being in the earth for 3 days. And so Jonah was in the whale or the fish for 3 days and 3 nights. Okay. So let's go to Matthew 12, 38 through 42. Then, as far as the sign of Jonah, he literally says that as a title. Then some of the scribes and Pharisees told Jesus, "Teacher, we want to see a sign from you." But he replied to them, "An evil and adulterous generation craves a sign, yet no sign will be given to it except the sign of the prophet Jonah. Because just as Jonah was in the stomach of the sea creature," just the way this version says, I just picked this for this reason, "for 3 days and 3 nights, so the Son of Man," man, I cannot talk tonight, wow, "so the Son of Man shall be in the heart of the earth for 3 days and 3 nights. Okay, so reason why I'm mentioning this is because we have this eclipse, because there was an eclipse that happened as a sign for the people of Nineveh, and we know this, and we think people even know what year it was. I forget it was back in I forget 600 something. Anyway, don't quote me on that. I can't remember off the top of my head, and I could have grabbed that. But anyway, the point is that we have this modern version of this, which is a mockery of it. Okay, and it's at the same day. Literally, it was reported on June 11th. Down here, as you see down here, look down here, June 11th, okay, below this, June 11th. But it happened on Thursday, June 10th, that this guy claims. Now, this is all false. All this kind of news is false. It's all about gematria and everything else, and symbols and everything. And I'm going to prove it to you. And there's far more I can get into with gematria and everything else, and even more of the symbols. But I'm just going to touch on some things to make my point, and also touch on 4th of July, and touch on different things that the Lord showed me about this time frame, okay? So, Lobster Diver says he was swallowed by humpback whale near Cape Cod. And by the way, Jonah equals dove. Jonah is Hebrew for dove. And by the way, it's very similar, and exactly the same word as, when I say very similar, I mean it's the same spelling as dove. And this guy dove because he's a diver. He dove into the water. He's a diver. Get it? Dove, dove, dove. Okay, I picked up on this right away, and that's why he's a diver. But also there's all kinds of gematria on this, and I can cover everything. But then we also have humpback whale. Remember, I saw 722, which is also 522, which is also Again, 2 plus 2 is 4. 4th of July. Okay, there's so much more in this. It's just, here it comes. Okay, and then Old English for lobster, because it was a lobster dover or lobster diver. Old English, and then we have Latin for locusta crustacean, locust. I mean, are you kidding me? Locusts that come out of the water, a lobster in the water, locusts that come out of the water. And I've said Hawaii is where the abyss is going to open up and locusts are going to come out, and it's in the water, and he's in the water as a diver. Wow, are you kidding me? Okay, and here's this guy faking it up. I mean, literally, when he was interviewed, it wasn't believable at all. He wasn't like blown away. He was just kind of reading a card. It was just, he phoned it in completely. I mean, he's not even a great actor. I don't know where he judges these people up from, but I'm proving the gematria left and right. There's so much more than I'm even going to cover, because I could literally put an hour video together on just this story and how it's all fake, but I'm just going to show you a few things. Okay, so by the way, he's the same guy that was in this plane crash in Costa Rica. Same guy. Same exact guy. He's reported as being the same guy, and I'm not going to put all the pictures and everything else up. I'm just showing the plane crash, and the pilot and co-pilot and somebody else died, and he was the only survivor, I think it was. And it was in Costa Rica. Why was this in Costa Rica? Because Costa Rica is 1 times 54, which is 5 for July is really the 5th month, 4th, July 4th. 1 times 554 is 54, or 1 plus 54 is 55, or July 5th, because it's the 4th and the 5th. Also, Costa and Rica are both 7-7, and that's when Stinky B.O. dies. Again, he's in a crash, someone dies, someone lives. Death, rebirth. Or you think he's dead, and then he's back alive again. Or you think he was swallowed by the whale, and then he's spit out. Death or possible death, and then rebirth. Death and rebirth. It's just symbols for that. And this guy ends up being the luckiest guy. He ends up surviving a plane crash in Costa Rica. And the same exact guy is so-called, and he wasn't even swallowed. He was in the mouth of him, and then he was spit out. But it says swallowed, because that's like the story of Jonah. He was swallowed by a fish or whale or whatever. I think it was actually technically a fish. I think that's what the Hebrew is, actually a fish, a big giant fish. But people think it's a whale and stuff, and it's been distorted and everything. But anyway, so, and then even more than that, look at this number, or look at this, the number, or the letters, I should say the letters on here. They're actually equate to a number. What is that? Well, here it is, okay? TIAGM, and this is what it is. It's really quite crazy. So M is 13, 1 plus 3 is 4, G is 7, A is 1, and then TI is always an interesting combo, because I've seen it many times, and it's showing I is 9, but it's also 1. Okay, I can look like 1, or they use I and 1 interchangeably. I, 1, and small l and things like that are very similar. So that's actually 21. So literally, it's 4th of July plus 1, which is the 5th of July. 4th of July plus 1, 21. I mean, that's what this is. And like I said, I've already shown this in Costa Rica. It's literally in the name Costa Rica, in right here, simple gematria, right here. Boom. It's actually the reverse of it. So reverse and simple are both equally valid. It's crazy. So boom. 4th of July plus 1. In fact, as soon as I did this slide, I was almost finished with the slide, and then I went to do something. I think I went to the bathroom or something like that. Came back, and my phone said this. July 4th plus 1. 4th of July plus 1, and then it was like a massive confirmation. This is on my phone. I just blew it up. While I was still doing this slide to confirm, it was 7-4 plus 1 on my phone. I could not. I get this stuff all the time. The lawyer's like, yes, you're on the right track. He's like, boom, boom, boom. Sometimes he'll just tell me. Sometimes he'll physically show me, and it's just off the charts so many times. I'm like, what? Okay, and there's this guy. Who does he remind me of? It's just, he reminds me of Bush or something. He looks like, he just reminds me of the way he's like, George Bush. Anyway, the young Bush. He just looks like, I don't know, he looks just dim-witted like George Bush. Anyway, George W. Bush. Okay, so Michael Packard, or Picard, however you want to say it. I don't. Well, people said it different ways. Doesn't matter. Okay, he is Michael, which is English ordinal 5-1. Again, July 1st. July's really the 5th month to the least. So July 1st. And Packard is 5-4. Again, 4th of July, or July 4th. July being the 5th month again. And then look, first letter code, M for Michael. P for Packard. P is 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. 4-7. He's just going to keep hitting 4th of July like crazy. And his Costa Rica crash. And like I said, Costa is 77 in reverse ordinal, and Rika is 77, and that is Sticky Bio's death. That would be July 7th, the 7th day of July, which is right in the middle of this time frame from July 1st to July 14th/15th. I'm saying that because I've kind of changed it a little bit because it seems like the 15th, 14th going to 15th, maybe the transition or midnight or depending on time zone is going to go right at the 14th or 15th will be the last day. So anyway, this is crazy. And then his full name just happens to be 10/5 or 5/10, which is the 5 months and 10 days going into the year is June 10th. 5 months and 10 days into the year are complete May, and then 10 days into June is June 10th, and that was the annual eclipse. Again, we're confirming all these things. I'm mainly focused on 4th of July with some of these things, but the Lord just showing me, confirming many things in the timeline. It's phenomenal. Okay, and then this is supposedly the boat he was on. He's on regularly. This is his boat, and then he's diving for burgers. No, anyway, he's diving for locusts. Lobster. Anyway, so there's this. It's called the J&J. J-A-J, and there's a little apostrophe and J. J&J. It looks like J&J, but it's J apostrophe and J. So J&J. And this is the number of it. And meanwhile, I'm like, oh my gosh, really? I could do this in my head. I mean, it's just crazy. So Provincetown, I didn't know this, but I knew it was going to be something, is 1 times 74. Again, remember on my phone, it was sort of similar to that. 174. So 1 times 74 is 74, or 1 plus 74 is 75. So we have 7/4, July 4th, and July 5th in 174. It's just, there's so much in this. Plus, 174 is 8/4, and that's when he was born. It's August 4th. It means so many things. Okay, the CKBO was born August 4th. Are you kidding me? Okay, so then we have the next thing. J&J is 35. 3 5s is 555. We're talking about this time frame. The 5th day, the 5th month, and the 5th year. 2021 is 2 plus 2 plus 1 is the 5th year. And then we have right here, look, J&J is 2 plus 5 is 7. And then we have 1, 7/1, the first day of the 14/15 days. And that's going to be confirmed over here, but just a second. We have, this was in Cape Cod, which is 4/7 or 4th of July. I mean, I talk about confirmations like crazy, okay, for some of these different things. And even the eclipse and things before that, this which is shown on iPad Go, that would actually tee up this time of July 1st through July 14th/15th. Are you kidding me? Now, what's underlined? This is the number of the boat, 908842. Now, I immediately look at these things, and I look at the way you look at this. You can look at it a couple different ways, but the way that just stuck out right away for me, and it's hidden, of course, in a way, is this. Boom. Now look at this. This is really crazy. So you literally go 9 plus 8 is 17, 8 plus 4 is 12, and then you have 2. So this is literally 2021 backwards, July 1st. And that's what we have right here. We literally have this right here is July. Right here, July 7/1. Take away the 0. They don't count zeros. July 1st. And then we have right here, July 1st. We literally have 2021 backwards, July 1st. I mean, are you kidding me? This just goes and goes. Okay. And then to top this off, we have this. I mean, talk about a mockery of God. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel is like quintessential mockery of God. I mean, he is Mr. Mocker, like many, many people in the entertainment, especially all these people late night and all that stuff. They're the biggest mockers of God. It's not even funny. So here you go. We got Jimmy Kimmel. Of course, it's in reverse ordinal, 7/4, July 4th. Of course, because it's all about July 4th and other accoutrements. Okay, accoutrements. Anyway, so we have, and then we have what? We have the sign of Jonah, which is what they're laughing about, because it's a wicked and perverse generation that laughs about the sign that's just happening. And they laugh and they mock because the demons know behind the scenes what's going on, and it's happening. It's about to happen to everybody. And they were in this 40-day warning, and they don't care. And that's what I'm speculating about based on what I've been shown. Okay. And I'm showing you what I've been shown, and you decide if this is what this is. And we'll know ultimately when July starts kicking in, and these days start kicking in, the 4th and the 5th, and then they're going on, the 7th and the 8th, and then the 11th and 12th, and then well, no, okay, that's it. And that's my evidence. My evidence is this pre-stuff I'm showing you here, but my main evidence is going to be when it starts kicking off, and you'll know this is right. And that's all I can do. And if you don't like that, just go away. Go away. Literally, take a long walk off a short pier. take all these different things you can think of. Seriously, if you're gonna mock any of this, you're gone in 2 seconds. That's it. If you can't understand why someone would do this and warn people and everything, wow. I mean, and especially with the thing that really, it doesn't bother me. It's so unnecessary. So unnecessary for people to say stop doing this. And I mean, it's super religious people or people that have some of them are people that have supported me for a while, and then all of a sudden they just give up, and they're such sad sacks, and they're just like, oh my God, you're just leading people astray and everything. And no, I'm just telling people possibly when this stuff could happen, and I'm using evidence, and that's what a watchman's supposed to do. Look up Ezekiel 33 and 33:6, I think it is. Look that up. What a watchman's supposed to do. If we don't watch and warn people of what's coming, then we have blood on our hands. And I have even more than that. I have the Lord commissioning me, Jesus Himself commissioning me to do this stuff and putting these things in front of my face, dreams and visions and things starting 6 years ago and everything else, and giving me a lot of the interpretation of a lot of this stuff that most people don't see. And my subscribers understand this. And that's okay. I mean, that's okay if people don't. Just go your way. Go somewhere else, okay? But if you give me any kind of hard time, you're gone. You're done. I'm just telling you. Don't even waste your time, especially doing long paragraphs, all this stuff of your tirades and stuff. I mean, some people have kind of figured it out, but some people still won't figure it out. And so you're going to spend that time. I'm just going to delete it and then block you, and that's will be the end of it. So I'm just telling you ahead of time. That's the way it is. I don't get a lot anymore, but I still am blown away by it. I still can't believe people are that dense and that they care that much, or listen, if I don't agree with you, I go somewhere else. I don't hang around and then listen to stuff I can't stand and then rail on you. I mean, what kind of a fool does that? A special kind, really. And then like one of my kids said, what's wrong with that person, Daddy? I said, well, my guess would be a lot. Okay, anyway, just being silly. I'm in a silly mood. Okay, so sign of Jonah is, again, 1 times 74 is 74, July 4th, or 1 plus 74 is 75, July 5th, because it's the 4th and the 5th. Enough of that noise. Okay, so after praying with M.A., I called my brother Jeff. So remember, she said some stuff about Jeff and all that. She saw a jet flying over his house and all this stuff. She said it like this: he is the key to understanding. He is the key to understanding. Okay, and I'm like, okay, great. And so, oh yeah, I'm calling my brother Jeff. I'm going back to that. Okay, and then so I asked him, do any fighter jets fly right over your house, or have any lately? Okay, he said military drones do, and there's a squadron of them in a military base that's not that far away from him, and also helicopters do. There's kind of in a helicopter flight pad he thinks, because he hears them go right over his house. I mean, sometimes really a lot of these things are pretty high, but some of them are pretty loud going over and everything. But definitely military drones do go over his house. Okay, so then I said, how about any World War II fighter planes? Because that's what I saw when Emmy and I were praying. And he said yes. He said 2 were flying over his house a couple months ago, in fact. And he said they were he knew exactly what they were and everything. He was pretty sure the first one was a P-40 Warhawk. And that's what it looks like right there. And then he said, and I'm pretty sure that the second one was a P-51 Mustang. Okay, and then I remember him saying something about there was a dog fighting or something like that. But then the first time I talked to him, but then he was kind of combining events or something, and so I didn't get that at first. Okay, but so he says this: one's a P-40 Warhawk and one's P-51 Mustang, and I'm like, oh my gosh, really? And immediately, like I said, I do this in my head, do this in my sleep, everything else. It's easy. It's just I'm like, P-40 is P is 16, 1 plus 6 is 7. P-40 is 7/4, July 4th. And I'm asking for confirmations of 4th of July, and I'm getting it from everybody, from MA, from Aaron, from my daughter's dream, from my own some experiences, from blah de blah de blah. And I'm sharing this with you as these things were unfolding, each event after they happened within a few days. Okay, and then he said P-50, and I'm like, P-51, that's 7/5, because P is still 16, 1 plus 6 is 7, and then 5, and so it's 7/5 times 1 would be 7/5, and that's just how it works, because that's why they put in 1 in there and a 3-digit number and sometimes there's other things too. It could be 15-7. I mean, it could be other things, but I'm just going to hit that right now. And then both of them together, I mean, the full names are P40 Warhawk is 610 in English gematria. I mean, are you kidding? 610, which is the eclipse day of June 10th. Again, these are confirming the eclipse time before the precursor to the July time. And then P51 Mustang is 711 in smack dab in the middle of the time thing I'm talking about. And that I just say we got 11-7 again. And Aaron had a dream about 11 on 11-7, the 117th day of the year, 4 years ago, April 27th or whatever. I mean, are you kidding me? It just goes and goes, all this stuff. And then look at this. Literally, P40 Warhawk is P40, which is 100, but it's also Warhawk is 510. That's when my twins are born, and that's 5 months and 10 days into the year is 610. Okay, so there's just so much going on here. The Lord's, and what a timing on this. Okay, so, but then I said to him, I go, do you have any idea or any proof of when those two fighter planes flew over your house? Because I knew the Lord had something for me. I knew the timing of this. When he had this phenomenal thing of these, the names and the numbers of these aircraft were phenomenal. What I just showed you, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. But I was looking for the kicker. I was looking for the kicker of what day it was. I'm like, do you have any evidence or anything like that? He said, well, they were loud over my house, and I think I texted or called my dad about it because he's a huge World War II fighter guy. But I will check. Okay, and then I said, do you think it was in May? Because I just knew that May 22nd, and I already talked to her about May 22nd. And she said that was, 40 days. I said 40 days before July 1st was what she was told. There was a 40-day warning, and it was May 22nd. I just knew. I had a feeling. This is what I said. He said, if I had to guess, I'd say it was in April. Okay. And then I said, well, I have to say, if this is going to be a huge confirmation from Jesus, I just in my gut, I guess it's 5/22 or secondarily be 5/4. Again, these both have to do with 4th of July as well, but they're also big confirmations for me as far as my anniversary and the anniversary of the United States and the beginning of this 40-day warning thing that basically we came across. And then the eclipse is right in the smack dab in the middle of it, as in a warning for, it's just, oh man, this is crazy. Hopefully you follow me on this. This is phenomenal. Okay, so then Jeff calls back because he's looking into this, seeing if he has a text. And he says, you will not believe this. It happened on 5/22. And I'm like, and I guess, he goes, I can't believe you guessed it. And I go, well, because the Lord's working, he's showing me this stuff, and he already told me through MA, and I was like, and I just knew what he was doing. I knew where he was going with this. I just had a feeling. And he probably put it in me that this knowing already. I mean, he does this all the time. He gives me stuff answers before he gives me the question. I mean, and all kinds of stuff. It's just phenomenal. So I'm totally racked out, and he's totally blown away. And then I got to tell MA, so it's like, oh, and she was totally blown away. So then here is his actual text. So look, 5/22/21, he finds it, 8:31 in the morning, which is 8/4, because it represents a birth and all that kind of stuff. 8/4 is Stinky B.O.'s birthday. Again, 8:31 is 8/4. Okay, anyway, this is what they're talking back and forth. And it says, okay, by the way, I just had two World War II planes fly high over my house on that exact day. He doesn't mind me sharing this text, and don't show any personal information, of course. Okay, so then I said, by the way, and then he said, by the way, they were dogfighting over my house months before that. And so that's where I got, it was another time. So, and I thought it was all talking about one time, because I said something about dogfighting or whatever, and he goes, no, by the way, they were dogfighting over my house months before that as well. And I'm like, what? I'm like, do you have proof of that again? Do you have proof of that? And he's like, I'm pretty sure I do. Let me check, And then he goes, and then here he comes with it. Boom. It sounds like, and here it is, on November 20th, 2020. Okay, 20. It's crazy. Which is what? Is 2 + 4 + 1 is 7/11. 7/11. So he has 5/22 and 7/11. And 5/22 was the beginning of the 40 days, and then 7/11 is right in the middle of or towards the end of the middle of the July 1st to July 14th/15th. I'm sorry, it's crazy. He literally had that, and then he says dogfight, but he told me they were dogfighting. Okay, he said this is why he said they were dogfighting. So I look up dogfighting, and it's 10/6, 10/6, or the 10th of June, and I'm like, are you kidding me? And then I see it in reverse ordinal. Dogfighting is 191. What's 191? It's not only 9/11, because 9/11 is 7/11, and it was on 7/11. Remember, 9/11 is 7/11, and it was on 7/11 because it was 11 of 14, or November 14th, 20, which is 11/7, and this is 9/11, but just scrambled. But even more than that, I'm going to make these two dogfight, and they're upside down, and so this is right side up, and what's this upside down? 191 upside down is what? 161, the 161st day of the year, is June 10th, the day of the eclipse, the annual eclipse. It just happened a few weeks ago. Or wait, what? A week ago. Whatever it's been. No, 2 weeks on. Whatever it's been. Okay, whatever it's been. 2 weeks ago? Yeah, so almost that. Well, of course, when I'm doing this video, but when you're watching this, who knows? But isn't that crazy? 191 is upside down exactly. 161, the 161st day of the year, is June 10th. And there's 10th of June, or June 10th. And so dogfighting in English and reverse English is the same day, represented two different ways. Are you kidding me? And then look, dogfighting is first letter code D, 4, G is 7, 4th of July. Man, this confirmations just keep coming. Okay, remember, Jeff was the key to understanding that MA said, right? Well, key, the Lord keyed me in on key, and he said it's the first and last letter code, or he said key, and I was like, oh, of course, and I could recognize first and last letter code, because K is 11, but 11 is 1 and 1, which is 2, and Y is the 25th letter of the alphabet, but that's 522. Remember, the first thing happened over him. They were over his head. They were just flying together over his head, doing something over his house, and that was on 522, or 225 backwards. And then key also, K and Y is also, K is 11, which 1 plus 1 is 2 up there, but also Y is 2 plus 5 is 7, and 7/11. And that's the first time they were dogfighting on November 14th, 20, which is 11/7. Are you kidding me? And she said he was the key to understanding. The Lord just magnified to me after that key, like on a map, but it was just, he said key, like, look at key. And I saw key, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's both dates of both texts he sent me. Are you hearing me? Is this thing on? Is this thing still on? It better be. I'm doing this for no reason. No, it's on. It's recording. Okay, here we go. This is crazy, people. MA saw the fighter jet from below as a point, okay? And she is talking to my brother Jeff. He called her later. Jeff later told MA that military drones fly over his house, like he told me, and she didn't know that. And then she asked him for a picture of a military drone taken from underneath it, and so he got one. And then I have one that gives an idea of what that is. So she's able to see the underneath, it from underneath, and she's like, that's what she saw. In fact, she even took it further. She saw look at the front of it, look at the nose on it. She said it had a blunt nose. She thought it was strange for a military jet to have a blunt nose. In fact, that's the blunt nose of a military drone called a Predator. Okay, Predator. And that is 7/4. By the way, I've said this 1,000 times. One can be a 1 or a slash. Okay, it could also even represent 7/1 and 7/4, but it is 7. I just know it's 7/4. Or, again, July 4th. How many July 4ths I'm going to show you in the presentation? I mean, how many have already? Many. It's crazy. And it's not only a Predator, it's exactly an MQ1 Predator, and that is 14/4 or 5/4, or again, July being the 5th month to elites, 4. And even more than that, what's MQ1? M is, again, 13. 1 plus 3 is 4, and then Q is 17, and 1 can be a slash or 1, so 17 can be a /7, so it's 4/7. We've got 4/7, and then we have 4/7 backwards right here, or July/4, or July/4 backwards. One's forward, one's backwards, or one's backwards, one's forward, doesn't matter. And then you add 1, and you have 5th of July. Man, 4th and 5th, look at that. Wow, I'm just blown away again by just saying this stuff to you. I might put this all together, but I'm just like, are you kidding me? How many more confirmations can God give me? Woo, dog. Okay, so let me add this. So we just had a new mechanic that we found out about. We were recommended, and so he came and looked at our vehicle, and then came to work on it. And our new mechanic starts working on our van in the morning. Then early afternoon, he tests his work by driving it. Here I'm standing there. He takes it out. I'm just waiting for him to come back because I want to pay him, right? And then while I'm waiting for him to come back, I'm drawn to his license plate. It's just once in a while. I mean, I don't look at all license plates. I just don't. I don't bother. I mean, there's too many, right? Or I don't always see license plates, or I'm doing different things or whatever. But sometimes my Lord just draws me to things. You that my brothers and sisters that have done this, that know about this, you understand. A lot of people don't, and it's okay. But it's phenomenal. And his license plate was this, and I was just so crazy. And literally, I read "by" as in B-Y, by what? By 7/5, 7/5. And again, that is by that time I saw a few things, and the genius in what this was in front of me was several things, and that's why I know it's from the Lord. I mean, the genius in him putting this guy in front of me and doing this work, it's just, and this far more than even I probably can see, or probably will know if I really dove into all the aspects. I mean, the guy looked a lot like me. He had a beard, and he had just like, I mean, just, I'm not going to get into all that of what I looked like and everything, but just very similar to me. And he was, I'm not going to get into all that because it'll just got to tell about me. I just keep myself, try to, as much anonymity as possible, but it was just crazy. There's so many aspects. He had the same kind of van that I had that he was working on. And it was just so crazy. And I knew the Lord was in this, of course. But it was by 7/5. G is 7. It's also by as in BY, but I'm going to show you this first. But so I was thinking, I was reading it like BY by this time. Okay. That's just how it was. And then I looked at it again and I realized that U is 21. So if you take the U out, it's 7/5/21. Again, this is how I see things. He tailors it to me and how I see those hidden clues and things and elaborate codes and things like that. It's crazy. And then it's also, he's going to buy us by July 15th, which is like, oh my gosh, because we got a deposit, a spiritual deposit on the purchased possession, and it was purchased by the blood of Jesus. And then the faithful will be taken up into heaven and will be bought off the earth into heaven. It's crazy. So he's going to buy us by July 15th. I'm like, what the heck? Wow. And then BY, the way I was seeing it, is what? Let me go this way. B is 2 and Y is 25. 225. Remember what that key was? The first line of code was 225. And now we have buy is 225. Okay. It's just crazy. Buy is 225. And that confirms that first day of the 40 days. It was like crazy. Okay. And then there's more. Again, that was what I said. But he's going to buy us by 7:15. I forgot my order, my slides here. Buy by 7:15. I mean, that was just off the charts. And there's even more with this. Okay, so let's just go with by 7:15, right? Because there was a G here and everything, right? But so let's just say it's 7:15. But let's break it down even more. So we have 7:15, which is 7/5 or 7/15, okay, the last day, or even 7/5, which is the first attack day, the 4th and the 5th. But sometimes it just shows, they sometimes just use the 5th because the 5th is 5, and then July is 5, and then 2021 is 5. So that's why I've been talking about 555 is the code that's in iPad Goat. In the hearts, it's 555 and 666. Or when you're online, you go to www, and W is double U's, and it's also W, and it's also double V's, and it's 555, 666, and 888. Anyway, I've shared this in past videos. And then Y is broken up into 25, U is 21, and B is 20. But look at this, 5/2/21, or even broke down even more, is 5/11/2021, or July 11th, 2021. So he's showing July/5th, July 15th, and July being the 5th month, 11th day of 2021. I mean, okay, some people go, oh, that's a stretch, but not really. If you understand numbers and their complex coding of things, it works out. It's crazy. And there's so much going on here. And I want to be bought by the Lord completely, because he gave me a down payment of Holy Spirit, but he says he's going to redeem the purchased possession completely at some point, and that's when we're transformed. The faithful are transformed and taken into heaven with the bride of Christ on the 14th going into the 15th, is what I've been seeing lately. And I shared that on my last video. It's crazy. And then Cody is the name of the guy, the mechanic. His name is Cody. In English Ordinal, simple English, it's 4/7, 4th of July. And then this is mind blowing. And in reverse, Cody is 61. Why is that important? Because that's 610. Take away the 0. 61. And then it opened up a whole new world. Wow, I couldn't believe I watched too many Disney movies with my kids. A whole new world. Okay, a new fantastic poem. Oh wait, I don't want to. I'm just being silly. I'm not even trying to sing it. Okay, not even trying. Okay, so this is really phenomenal. I mean, this is Stinky BO's birthday. Cody. I mean, what? 7 months and 4 days into 1961 is Stinky BO's birthday. Stinky BO was born the 44th Barack Hussein Obama, or No Obama. No Obama. Okay, born on 8/4/61. Okay, 8/4/61 was 7 months on the count. 7 months and 4 days into 1961 is 7/4/61. And that's 7/4/61. I mean, and talk about confirming 610, his birth being, in a sense, starting with an eclipse, and then 40 days of warning, and then the first attack day on 7/4. Literally, that is his birthday. It's crazy. Now let's look at his full birthday of August 4th, 1961. You want to get even more blown away? Hopefully you do. Look at this. 6 plus 1 is 7. 9 you can take away, and that's a spacer. Then we have 1. 8 plus 4 is 12. We have 12/1/7. And exactly backwards, that is 7/1/21. July 1st of 21. And that's his birthday. And listen, his birthday is made up 100% to match his days of birth, or multiple things about his days of birth. So this is not a coincidence that this would be that way, that a guy named Cody would confirm so many things about this timeline, being a mechanic, and his license plate and his name would be 4/7, and 61 is 7 months and 4 days into 1961, which is his birthday. Are you kidding me? Exactly. I mean, seriously. Okay, and then let me hit this last bit here before I'm done. This is I Pet Goat. Explosion, 4th of July scene, right? These things, man. We have literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ribs, 7 July, 1, 2, 3, 4/5 explosions, and this thing is touching the 5 right now, but as it progresses and he blows his little party favor or party blower, whatever you call it. By the way, party blower and party flavor are both 4/7. I just didn't put it in. Or both July 4th. Somehow, I forget exactly. I just didn't put it on here. But as the 7 touches both. It's go time on the 4th explosion. 1, 2, 3, 4 is go time on the 4th, because that's what it's known for. It's go time. It's green means go. And this 7 is touching that and this, the 4th and the 5th. It's July 7, 4th and 5th. Okay? And there's more indications in here. I'm not going to get in. And there's other gematria in here, but let me hit this also. I've shared this many times. Upside down and backwards. In all these explosions in different directions, I showed this several times in all previous videos. There's 623 all over the place, and 236 and versions of the same thing. Basically, it's 623. But just so you know, July 5th, against they show July 4th, and they also do symbols for July 5th, because July 5th is 555, because July is really the 5th month. The 5th day is the 5th, and then 2021 is 5. So what's 623? 623 is 6 months and 2 plus 3 days into 2021 is July 5th. 6 full months, closing off June, and 2 plus 3 days into July is July 5th, i.e. the 4th and the 5th. And 623 is all over in these explosions. I'm sure that, and over here you can see 2, 3, 6. Okay, maybe it's hard to see, but I'm showing, mark them out. You can see both ways. See the negative space, and there's actually 2, 3, 6. There's 2 and 3 going right here. 6, 2, 3 going this way. There's so much things and all these explosions. There's even in one of the explosions Barack Obama's face. And I've showed that before. It's not super clear to most people, but they can see a face, but it is his face. It's like it's literally like half a woman and half a male face, but it looks like him. It's really crazy. That when saw that was stunning, and I just didn't think of now until mentioning it. But I shared that I think last 4th of July, maybe the one before that, I don't remember. Maybe it was just before that, I don't remember. But it's phenomenal. It's that literally in the explosion, in the smaller one. It's a crazy, and then it looks like it then turns into like a beast looking thing. It is nuts. It is nuts. What's in iPad Goat will boggle the mind if you were to watch all my videos, and I have so many to watch that most people don't watch them all. But some people have been around me for a while, and some do watch them. But there's so much I've shared. So thank you. I want to thank you so much for watching, and hopefully you understand these confirmations of 4th of July, just that, and these experiences, and these personal confirmations with my friends and brothers and my sister. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So we'll see what happens. And there's a small chance that it could be July 19th through August 1st, as being the 14/15 day, whatever. That's the small chance. But I'm right now, all all bets are on that for me, because the confirmations on, and again, I asked for 4th of July itself, not any symbols of that, not any numerology for that, just 4th of July itself. And for the last 2 years, this is my 3rd year, thinking the 4th of July was massively huge, with the numbers, a lot of symbolism, fireworks being like explosions. I mean, are you kidding me? It's so symbolic of destruction. It's ridiculous. And all the loud booms you hear and everything. Think about bombs going off or explosions and all that stuff. I mean, that would be a symbol. And by the way, I'm going to say one more thing, as far as that goes. The real birth, when they actually signed the Declaration of Independence, was actually, you look it up, it was August 2nd, 1776, not July 4th. So they made up July 4th for some reason. They literally signed the Declaration on August 2nd. So they made up for some reason. I'm going to say maybe because it was the actual attack day, because it actually made more sense and was more, symbolic, and had all these different numbers and things like I'm showing you. So, and me even way beyond what I'm showing you. So hopefully I have a second video out in maybe another several days, hopefully, maybe a shorter video. I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm not going to promise anything, but I'll have, it might be a week. It could be a few days. I don't know. So, but probably have one out at some point. So, but I want to thank everybody who's given to my ministry. And if you see any value in this, please share this. Even if you have to tell people I'm a psycho and you don't believe what I'm saying, and you want to laugh at me, then share me with your friends to laugh. I mean, at least they get this message. I don't care. It doesn't matter how it goes. It doesn't matter to me. And so share this. I thank you for all your prayers. Please pray for me and my family, like a lot of people have faithfully. I'm thankful. I feel your prayers. Please continue to pray for me. I'm always getting shot at with different things, but the Lord's always protected me, and your prayers really help. I really appreciate it. Your works-based prayers, I mean, get those works going. No, people say that some of this stuff is works. I mean, that people are fasting is work. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so thank you so much. And people that have given, oh man, my heart is just so rich with thanks. Anybody who's given. In fact, that's how I could get the work done on my van. In fact, I need some more work done. And if you're able to give, I just got to do some more things to. Of course, when it rains, it pours. But I think the Lord actually took care of a problem on my van, and it just completely got rid of it. And I don't know how that happened. It was there. It was lights are going on and everything, and they went off, and it wasn't having the problem anymore. I do not know. I think we prayed over it, and it went away, and so it didn't come back. But now we got something else. Again, you can't just keep praying for a car that's going to stay. Maybe you can. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, but thank you so much. If you're able to give, I really appreciate it. PayPal link is in the description box. Also do Zelle Pay, which is like PayPal should be. It's free and everything, and it doesn't cost anybody anything, and it's really easy to sign up for. ZellePay.com. It's super easy and everything. And I also have a P.O. box if you want to send anything. I appreciate it. Appreciate it so much. And I'm just praying in a sense that this time frame is it, and then also that people are protected and people wake up to the truth and they start to know Jesus from the things that they're going through in life and the tough things that are going on right now. So I just ask for you as well to pray for people that are struggling right now, people that got the hokey pokey and everything else, that just lift them up. And then just hopefully we can redeem as many people before this time is up and before there's no more chance as far as the first stuff that's coming, but there will be another chance for people during the tribulation to leave, I believe, and be taken away if they believe in the Lord and believe and trust in Him. So, and give their lives over to Him. So anyway, so thank you so much. This means so much to me that you watch this and share this. It's really awesome. So, and I couldn't wait to get these revelations out to you with the Lord showing me with His personal experiences. They've been so phenomenal. I've been so blown away the last several days. It's been off the charts. So God bless you. And this is Exalted Lamb 1, over and out.